You're listening to From Stillness, an audiobook for a mind in need of quiet. Life often feels chaotic, not because it truly is, but because we approach it without direction. We pile on tasks, chase vague goals, and mistake busyness for purpose. But what if the answer to a simpler life isn't doing less, it's doing differently? At the heart of that difference lies a principle called effortless intentionality. It's not about avoiding effort altogether. It's about aligning that effort with what genuinely matters to you. Most people assume ease is the absence of effort. In truth, ease emerges when your energy flows towards things you deeply value. Think about how much time you spend reacting, scrolling when you want connection, buying when you seek fulfillment, staying busy when you crave meaning. It's like drinking water to satisfy hunger. It fills the space but leaves the need unmet. Effortless intentionality is the quiet discipline of choosing. Instead of operating on autopilot, you begin asking, what really deserves my attention today? It's not about being hyperproductive, it's about being aligned. When you act in harmony with your values, effort feels less like a grind and more like momentum. Your energy becomes focused, not scattered. And in that shift, life begins to feel less burdensome, more purposeful, easier. Not because you're doing less, but because you're finally doing what matters. Our brains are brilliant at many things, but managing complexity isn't one of them. When faced with big, overwhelming tasks, we often freeze not because we're lazy, but because we're wired that way. That's where the power of micro-simplicity comes in. Instead of trying to solve everything at once, you break things down into their tiniest, most manageable parts. Think of it like this. You wouldn't eat an entire pizza in one bite. Yet when we write vague goals like sort the house or fix my life, we're essentially attempting just that. The magic happens when you get specific. When sort the house becomes put dishes in the sink, wipe the table, fold the laundry. Each step becomes digestible. Each tick on your list delivers a tiny dose of dopamine, your brain's way of rewarding progress. It's not about lowering your ambitions, it's about removing the friction that stops you starting. When you simplify your actions to the smallest possible micro-movement, you create momentum. Suddenly, the thing that felt impossible starts to shift. You begin to build a rhythm. And from that rhythm, clarity and confidence emerge. Micro-simplicity isn't just a productivity trick, it's a mindset. A way of navigating life when everything feels too much. You don't need to finish it all today. You just need to start one small, deliberate step at a time. Every day, we wake up with a limited supply of mental energy. And just like your phone battery, if you drain it on the wrong things early, you won't have anything left for what truly matters. That's the core of decision energy budgeting. The idea that your brain power is precious and how you spend it will define the quality of your day. Most of us unknowingly exhaust ourselves on low-stakes decisions. What to wear, what to eat, which email to open first. These constant micro-choices chip away at our focus, leaving us mentally fatigued before lunch. It's like using a luxury sports car to deliver newspapers, wasteful and unsustainable. The solution is beautifully simple. Automate the trivial. Build systems for repetitive decisions. Set weekly meal templates. Streamline your wardrobe. Design a morning routine. These aren't just time-saving hacks. They're protective boundaries for your brain. When you eliminate low-value choices, you free up your best mental energy for deep, meaningful work. The kind that moves your life forward. You'll find you have more clarity, more stamina, and more space to think clearly when it counts. So next time you're agonizing over what socks to wear or what snack to eat, ask yourself, does this choice really deserve your mental bandwidth? Protect your cognitive energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Most of the anxiety we carry doesn't come from what's happening now. It comes from what might happen later. We worry about next week's meeting, tomorrow's bills, next year's uncertainty. Yet none of those things are happening in this moment. That's the power of present-tense living, a practice of coming back to what's real, what's immediate, what's solvable now. Our minds are time-traveling machines, constantly bouncing between past regrets and future fears. But the truth is, the only place we can take meaningful action is right here, right now. that email sitting in your inbox, that conversation you've been avoiding. That's where your real life is unfolding. Not in a hypothetical scenario that may never come true. Present tense living doesn't mean ignoring the future. It means refusing to be ruled by it. It means asking, what's the actual problem in front of me? Instead of spiraling into what if, questions that drain your energy and steal your peace. And here's the irony. When you fully address the challenges of the present, you shape a better future without the worry. You show up with clarity, take action from a grounded place, and build momentum that doesn't rely on stress to move forward. So next time your mind drifts into the fog of future disaster, gently bring it back. What's true right now? What can I do today? The present moment is where your real power lives. Return to it often. Perfectionism wears a clever disguise. It pretends to be excellence, ambition, even professionalism. But in truth, it's often a silent saboteur, stopping you before you even begin. How many ideas have you shelved? How many projects delayed just because you feared they wouldn't be perfect? That's where the power of anti-perfectionism practice comes in. It invites you to embrace good enough, not as mediocrity, but as a strategic standard. You don't need to lower your bar, you just need to stop applying the highest standard to everything. Some tasks demand precision, others simply need to be done. Does that email need to be poetry, or just polite and clear? Does your room need to be spotless, or simply functional and peaceful? When you treat every task like a masterpiece, you'll end up completing nothing. The antidote is conscious calibration. Decide upfront what level of quality is truly needed. Then give yourself full permission to meet that standard. No higher, no lower. This unlocks progress, builds momentum, and frees your energy for the areas that actually matter. The irony? When you stop obsessing over perfect, you start producing more meaningful work. You begin, you finish, and you move forward. And over time, this rhythm outperforms the perfectionist still polishing their first paragraph. Done isn't just better than perfect. It's often the path to excellence itself. Big ideas don't change your life. Daily practice does. The real magic of transformation isn't found in reading a concept once, it's in integrating that concept into your everyday rhythm. This is where the sixth principle comes in. Integration through intentional habit. It's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about choosing one small action, applying it consistently, and letting that build real momentum. Each morning, begin not with a frantic to-do list, but with a single grounding question. What actually matters today? That simple reflection is a compass. It keeps you from drifting into autopilot. From there, take your most meaningful task and break it down into absurdly small steps. Not finish project, but open laptop. Then outline slide 1. This is micro-simplicity in action, and it works because your brain loves completion more than it loves ambition. As you move through the day, guard your decision energy. Ask yourself, what choices can I automate or eliminate entirely? Then do just that. Save your mental firepower for the decisions that really shape your future. When your mind wanders into worries about tomorrow, gently guide it back to now. What can you do with what's in front of you? That's all that ever matters. And when perfectionism creeps in, pause. Ask yourself what good enough looks like for this task in this moment. Then get it done and move forward. One intentional day leads to another. And before you know it, simplicity becomes your second nature. A great deal of our stress doesn't come from what happens, but from what we thought should happen. The real enemy isn't life itself, it's the gap between our expectations and reality. This is why the seventh principle, expectation detox, can feel like a breath of fresh air. It's about letting go of rigid scripts and opening up to what actually unfolds. We often write invisible screenplays in our heads, how the meeting should go, how someone should respond, how the day should flow. And when reality doesn't follow our imagined plot, we feel betrayed. But here's the shift. What if, instead of clinging to those expectations, we approached life with quiet curiosity? Try this. The next time something important looms, swap "This needs to be perfect" with "I wonder how this will turn out." It's a small linguistic tweak, but it rewires the entire emotional experience. You move from control to exploration, from pressure to presence. This doesn't mean abandoning standards or ambition. It means freeing yourself from the exhausting job of trying to choreograph every moment. Because reality rarely takes direction, but it often surprises you when you stop trying to micromanage it. When you stop demanding that life fit your plan, you begin to notice the possibilities that your plan would have blocked. And that's where ease begins, not in lowered standards, but in softer expectations and a more open mind. Most of life's exhaustion doesn't come from the events themselves. It comes from our resistance to them. We fight against traffic, against delays, against conversations we didn't want to have, constantly whispering to ourselves, "This shouldn't be happening." But here's the truth. Resistance drains more energy than the problem itself. That's why the eighth principle, non-resistance, is so powerful. Non-resistance isn't about giving up or becoming passive. It's about flowing with reality rather than trying to wrestle it into submission. Imagine falling into quicksand. The more you struggle, the faster you sink. But if you stay calm, spread your weight, and work with the conditions, you float. Life is much the same. When something goes wrong, you have two choices: spend your energy resenting it, or spend that same energy adjusting, adapting, responding. It's the difference between shouting at the rain or quietly finding an umbrella. One leaves you frustrated, the other keeps you dry. Adopting non-resistance doesn't mean you stop striving. It means you start moving from a place of clarity instead of chaos. You still take action. You just stop wasting energy fighting things you cannot change. The moment you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" you reclaim power. And in that shift, life doesn't necessarily get easier, but it starts to feel lighter. Less like a battle, more like a rhythm you can learn to dance with. Modern life overwhelms us not because we lack time, but because we say yes to too much. Invitations, commitments, projects, purchases. Most of them are not wrong, they're just not right enough. This is where the hell yes or no principle becomes life-changing. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a compass for reclaiming your focus. The idea is simple. If something doesn't immediately feel like a clear and enthusiastic hell yes, then your answer should be no. No to half-hearted maybes. No to lukewarm obligations. No to the polite nods that pull you away from what truly matters. Why? Because every yes carries a cost. A yes to the wrong thing is always a no to something better. Saying no might feel uncomfortable in the moment, but it protects the space you need for the people, projects, and opportunities that truly light you up. Without that space, you'll end up exhausted, wondering why your days are full but your life feels empty. Opportunity filtering isn't selfish. It's intentional. It's about trusting your intuition and allowing yourself to prioritize depth over breadth. And strangely, the more you say no to the things that don't excite you, the more magnetic you become to the ones that do. So next time something crosses your path, pause. Ask yourself, is this a full-body yes? If not, say no kindly, firmly, and without guilt. Because your attention is your life. Spend it wisely. Your brain is a brilliant machine for generating ideas, not for storing them. Yet most people treat their minds like messy filing cabinets, crammed with to-dos, appointments, and half-formed thoughts. The result? Cognitive overload, stress, and a constant background buzz of, "What am I forgetting?" The solution is what we call cognitive outsourcing. The simple but powerful act of moving information out of your head and into trusted external systems. That might be a notebook, a notes app, a calendar, or a task manager. Whatever works, so long as it's consistent and you trust it. Every unresolved thought you carry around consumes mental bandwidth. It's like running 20 apps at once on your phone. It slows everything down and drains your energy. But the moment you write things down, clarity returns. You think more sharply, make better decisions, and free up mental space for creativity and calm. This isn't about becoming robotic or over-organized. It's about creating mental breathing room. A calendar doesn't just remind you of meetings, it gives your brain permission to let go. A to-do list isn't a burden, it's a relief. When your systems work, your mind can finally do what it does best: spot patterns, make connections, solve problems. So if you constantly feel scattered or forgetful, don't blame your memory, upgrade your system. Free your mind to focus on ideas, not storage. Remember, your brain is not a warehouse. It's a workshop. Treat it like one. Fear isn't something you eliminate. It's something you train for. Most people wait for confidence before they act, but confidence doesn't come first. Courage does. The real transformation begins when you treat fear not as a signal to stop, but as a signal to start small. Just like muscles grow under tension, your resilience grows with discomfort. This is the essence of fear inoculation. The idea is simple. Expose yourself to manageable doses of fear. Make the phone call that makes your heart race. Speak up when you'd rather stay silent. Try the new thing, even if it makes you feel clumsy. Like a vaccine, these microdoses build your tolerance. What was once terrifying becomes merely unfamiliar. Then, eventually, it becomes routine. You don't need to take massive leaps. Just small, intentional steps outside your comfort zone. Over time, your life expands. Your world gets bigger not because the fear disappeared, but because you got used to walking through it. Avoiding discomfort may keep you safe, but it also keeps you stuck. Strength isn't built in ease, it's built in stretch. And the beautiful irony is that the more willing you are to feel fear, the less control it has over you. So next time your heart races, don't pull back. Lean in, just a little. That's the path to the life you've been waiting to grow into. Life doesn't get easier because the world changes. It gets easier because you do. That's the deeper message behind everything we've explored. Each of these 10 principles, whether it's breaking big tasks into micro steps, budgeting your decision energy, living in the present, or replacing perfectionism with progress, acts like a single piece in a larger puzzle. Alone, each one brings clarity. But together, they create momentum. You begin to notice the small shifts first. You waste less energy on imaginary problems. You stop chasing the illusion of doing more, and instead start doing what matters. Your day no longer feels like a blur of half-finished thoughts. Instead, there's a rhythm, intentional, steady, human. And slowly, what once felt overwhelming starts to feel manageable, even meaningful. The beauty is, this isn't about a grand reinvention. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about removing the unnecessary friction from your everyday life so you can finally live as yourself. And not the anxious, overstimulated, always behind version of yourself. The calm one, the grounded one, the version of you that moves with clarity and choice. You don't have to master everything at once. In fact, trying to would defeat the purpose. Pick one principle that resonates. Practice it until it becomes part of how you live. Then move on to the next. Over time, these practices begin to support one another, each one amplifying the others until ease is no longer an accident. It's a lifestyle. Because in the end, a simpler life isn't something you chase. It's something you design, one quiet, intentional moment at a time.